as Gore said, you're in the elements. You're standing in the middle of untouched earth where they made the crew hand carry all of the equipment because the earth is so old there, you can't drive cars on it because it would endanger the dirt. It was all a challenge. It was all a labor of love, and it was all fun every single step of the way.
Why are you talking to that horse? Why am I covered in dirt?
I buried you.
Why am I alive?
The story has a man who represents the laws of nature and another man who represents the laws of man with these noble ideas, the concepts of justice. I was very young, very drawn to originally to the postmodern Western because there's something nice about the end of the era, you know, when the gunfighter kind of is aware of his own extinction and reconciling with that. I think that's a very complex emotional state.
Horse says you are a spirit walker. A man who has been to the other side and returned. A man who cannot be killed in battle. Something very wrong with that horse.
I've always been fascinated by the Western because of that, because of the sort of horizon and the silhouette of the individual. I mean, you know, gun on the hip and ultimate choice and over life and death and control over one's destiny. And certainly the Westerns of the 70s where people started to explore, like, what if the horizon is cluttered now and you can't define that silhouette anymore, and the trains come and the cities come and the people come. And so I think the choice to tell the story from Tonto's perspective brings with it a uniquely kind of Native American perspective, and things like the landscape become characters, and the violation of that landscape with the train, the sort of underpinning of loss. You know, we like our iPhones and we love this air-conditioned building, and I love everything that progress has afforded me. But I think Tonto serves the function of sort of asking, at what cost? Did we leave behind some simpler understanding of our relationship to the earth? So it's almost like taking the postmodern Western and really saying, okay, for the first time we're going to look at it from a Native American standpoint, which is in itself also postmodern.
All right. But if we ride together, it's to bring these men to justice in a court of law. Is that understood?
Justice is what I seek, Kimosabe.
Our relationship in the movie between the Lone Ranger and Tonto goes through several different evolutions. You know, at first it's more of a doctor-patient relationship. He basically nurses the then John Reed, the now Ranger, back to health, and then it becomes a sort of mentor-apprentice kind of relationship. And then by the end, once he's sort of started to enact the creation of this Lone Ranger myth, it becomes a sort of symbiotic partnership where even though they might not completely agree with each other, or in most cases understand each other or even like each other, they have a wonderful symbiosis and they really need each other to survive.
Going somewhere?
Yes.
No. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, we're not.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Shut up!
Yes.
There is homage in the movie, but it's a language you can't escape. I mean, it's a language you know, practically, you know, you go to Monument Valley and you're scouting locations, and you drive in a Jeep and you get out of the car and you get your lens and your viewfinder and you're framing up the shot, and then you say, no, it's not quite right, and you drive another 100 yards and then you back up 30 feet and you walk around until you find the shot that speaks, you know, the landscape and how the buttes line up and where the sun's going to be. And you know, what's amazing is the Native American guide who's there showing us around is this old man, and he kind of smiles, and you're like, why are you smiling? He says that's where John Ford put the camera, right there on that spot. So when you go to these places, it speaks back to you, and it sort of starts to tell you what to do.